Welcome everyone to the video demonstration of the laboratory experiments for ELE 531 electromagnetic codes. In this video, we will introduce you to the equipments used in the microwave lab. We also explain their basic applications, how to operate them, and how to use them for measuring the microwaves. The title of the today's lab is Familiarization with Microwave Equipment. Microwave signal is a high frequency signal with a frequency range of 300 megahertz to 300 gigahertz. We will use rectangular waveguide to transmit the microwave signal from source to the load. We will be using GAN oscillator as a source. The GAN oscillator we use in this lab can produce a microwave signal of frequency around 10 gigahertz. This picture shows the figure of a GAN oscillator. Also, you can see the schematic symbol next to the figure of a GAN oscillator. The front panel of power supply required to operate the GAN oscillator is shown in this figure, and the symbol for power supply unit is next to this figure. The front panel consists of an on-off switch, a voltage indicating dial, and some knobs for controlling the voltage range. It also shows the port where the GAN oscillator should be connected. Another important component is a variable attenuator. A variable attenuator is a resistive device that basically absorbs some microwave signal. In this lab, we have fixed attenuator, also variable attenuator. The fixed attenuator is similar to a constant value resistance, and a variable attenuator is similar to a variable resistor, where the value of the resistance can be varied by changing the blade position. A blade is an important part that is required the microwave that is required to absorb the microwave signal or to dissipate the microwave signal. If the blade position is fixed, that is called a fixed attenuator. If the blade position is variable, it is called a variable attenuator. The arm on the variable attenuator is used to change the blade location. This is how we can uh, set our variable attenuator at any certain value of attenuation. You can see a thermistor in this figure. A thermistor is a temperature controlled resistor. This is used to measure the microwave power. The resistance of this device is sensed because of the microwave power, and that can be displayed on the power meter. So here you can see a power meter. You can see the front side of the power meter and its symbol. I will explain this and show you in detail in the next. Look at the photo taken in the microwave lab at Ryerson University. And in this photo, you can see the equipments that we are going to use in the microwave experiment. So this is consist of the apparatus and the meters. The meters has the GAN oscillator power supply, a power meter, and a SWR meter. In this picture, you can see the GAN oscillator. So I made three picture side by side. So the wire connected with this GAN oscillator must be connected with GAN oscillator power supply. We apply 8.5 volt DC excitation to launch microwave signal from this GAN oscillator. This picture shows you the power supply unit for GAN oscillator, and it consists of on-off switch, a mode indicator, and voltage selector knobs, and range selector, and also the output that should be connected to the GAN oscillator. This is the on-off button for GAN oscillator power supply. This is the selector power settings for GAN oscillator power supply, GAN oscillator power supply, and you need to set 10 volt range and 8.4 volt for the DC excitation to generate a microwave signal. This picture shows the variable and fixed attenuator. We have two fixed attenuators of 6 dB attenuation and 35 dB, and the variable attenuator can produce any attenuation between 0 to 35 dB by changing the arm. If you look inside the waveguide, you will see a blade here. The blade is a fiberglass with resistive coating that basically reduce the microwave signal. If the blade is positioned at the middle of this waveguide, theoretically no signal can pass through, so entire signal will be attenuated. If the blade is located close to the side walls, then the power attenuation will be less. So we can, for fixed attenuators, these blade positions are at a fixed location, so we cannot move them. But for variable attenuator, we can uh, play with this blade position by moving the blade arm. So look at the picture here. You can see the arm which can be used to locate the blade position and control the attenuation of this device. If you set this arm to 0 mm position, so the blade will be touching side wall and you will not see any attenuation. Attenuation will be 0 dB. But if you put the blade at the all the way in around 11 mm, no signal can pass through this. The attenuation can be 35 dB. Picture showing here is a thermistor mount. This thermistor, as I said before, is a thermal control resistor and is used to measure the microwave power. This thermistor has two matching screws and one movable short circuit and a lock to hold the movable short circuit and a port where the power meter should be connected. So you can uh, control the power received by this device by changing the matching screws and also the movable short circuit. So we have three settings to this component. Two matching screws, one on the top and another on the bottom, and one arm that is called movable short circuit. If you can put it all the way out or all the way in, so the signal reception will vary. Today we will see how the signal varies if you change the movable short circuit. Picture shows the power meter. The power meter has a monitor to showing the power of producing by the GAN oscillator and also two zero adjust knobs. So these knobs are required to nullify the power meter. So every time when you use a power meter, you must adjust the power meter to 0 using these zero adjust knobs. Otherwise, the reading will be erroneous. And also you can see there are some ranges to measure the power in different ranges. And here you can see the screen of a power meter. The power meter is analog meter. So you can both measure power in milliwatt and in dBm from this very same meter. These are the ranges for measuring power at for different range. So we can measure power from 0.1 milliwatt range to 10 milliwatt range. And also we can measure power in dB using this range. So this meter can be used to get both the milliwatt and also the dB power. You can have a close look to the zero adjust knobs. One is for coarse adjust and another is for fine adjust. And this zero adjust knob is required to nullify your power meter. A power meter basically a Wheatstone bridge. As you know, we need to make a balance to the Wheatstone bridge before using it, and you can do that by adjusting this uh, zero adjust knobs. So one point to mention here, zero adjust knob must be used when the device is disconnected from the power supply. This picture shows you the slotted waveguide. This type of waveguide is used to measure the wavelength of the microwave signal and also the frequency of the microwave signal. To measure this, we basically use a standing wave meter. We are going to show you the standing wave meter soon. This is the side view of slotted line waveguide. And here you can see the millimeter scale that is used to measure the wavelength of the microwave signal. And from this wavelength, you also can find the frequency. This is a picture of the slotted line as a part of wavelength measurement experiment. Here you can see the front panel of a standing wave ratio meter. The standing wave ratio meter used to measure the standing wave ratio and also finding the maxima and minima of the standing wave. It can be used for measuring very small amount of power. The ranges here from 0 dB to 60 dB. This is the screen to display the power level of a standing wave. We can measure both uh, dB and also in standing wave ratio from this meter. Picture showing here is a directional coupler. This device is used to measure the branching off or reflection of a signal. So if you use a short circuit or a resistive load at the end of a microwave circuit, some part of the signal will be reflected back, like the light wave. So the reflected signals can be measured by using this directional coupler. This directional coupler has four ports. The name of the port is input port, output port, sampling port, and isolated port. So the signals basically, the input port is connected to the GAN oscillator and output port must be connected to the load, and the sampling port is also called the coupling port. If you look at the equipments we introduced so far, you will see some equipment are both side open. Some equipment has one side closed and one side open. So if the instrument that got both sides open must be terminated with some devices. So we have matched load, we have short circuit here. So a short circuit, like we have a diode detector. So there's three apparatus can be used as a waveguide terminator. So one is short circuit, one is matched load, thermistor mount, and diode detector. There are four devices can be used as a matched terminator of the waveguide. Measure the power using power meter. So to measure this, we need these equipments that should be connected like this way. The GAN oscillator will be connected with uh, variable attenuator and thermistor mount. So let's see watch the video here how we can connect these components and prepare the setup. So here I am using a connector to connect GAN oscillator with variable attenuator. So we use another connector from other side. Then I will connect the thermistor. So you see how to connect them. So we use a connector here to connect the thermistor. It is another connector from other side. So now our setup is ready. We have to put this setup on a support. Then we connect the GAN oscillator to the GAN oscillator power supply. And turn on the power supply unit and keep 2 minutes to warm it up. So now I say here is the setting for GAN oscillator power supply, and we should put the variable attenuator at 11 millimeters so that no signal can pass through. So we are blocking the signal initially. So now we have to connect my so we have to connect the thermistor with power meter so that we can measure the power produced by the GAN oscillator, the microwave power. So we adjust the power meter to 0 by using 0 adjust knob. Now you see you can adjust 0. So before adjusting 0, I disconnected the GAN oscillator. Now I reconnect. So we have to make 1.6 millimeter blade position from the variable attenuator. So now you see I am playing with the variable attenuator. It was initially 11 millimeter position. That means all the way in. No signal could reach to the output terminal. Now I am going to make 1.6 millimeter. So to see, make 1.6, you see how we can make it. We move this, rotate this, or on rotation, that will be zero point 0.5, another rotation will be 1, another rotation will be 1.5, and 10 from the round scale. So this is a Vernier scale basically, and we make 1.6 from there. So now I am going to play with the movable short circuit. So you see I am playing with movable short circuit and see what is going on. If you play with movable short circuit, you will see the needle on the power meter will be moving. So you see it going up and down. So if I put all the way in again, it will rise and fall. So it is falling. If it goes to left side means falling, and the needle is going to right side is rising. So the value is increasing and decreasing. While you play with this, the value will increase. So that means the signal produced by the Gaussian oscillator is a sinusoidal signal or time varying signal. So you see the signal is varied with time, right, or space. So now we have to fill out uh, this part on the lab book. So lab book, so I'm repeating this. See, I'm repeating this, changing with this, and see the needle is going up and down. So it goes up, then down, then again up and down. So it goes up and down twice. So now you fix the maximum position. So this is now we get the maximum amount of power that delivered by the microwave signal. So this is basically 3.5 milliwatt. I cannot show you clearly, but this reading is 3.5 milliwatt on the power meter. Usually your power meter can produce power from 2 to 10 milliwatt. So I am writing the answers here. The first answer is, if you play with the thermistor mount, the signal will increase and decrease twice. And the second part says, what is the power level? If you maximum power level, just I write down this value is 3.5 milliwatt. We also know the power meter has multiple senses, so you can calibrate your power meter. If you want to measure 2 milliwatt, you can choose 10 milliwatt range and measure 2 milliwatt. And you also can select 3 milliwatt range and can measure 2 milliwatt. So initially, we set 10 milliwatt range and measure 2 milliwatt. Then we set 3 milliwatt range, and if we get the needle goes to 2 milliwatt, that means our power meter ranges are okay. And this stage basically tells us, if you set the variable attenuator to 11.43, you will see no sense in the power, because 11.43 will attenuate the entire signal and you will get zero signal at the output. Here you have some review questions. So I'll ask you to write down these review questions. For this lab, you don't need to prepare any report, but you need to read the pre-lab and the procedure. So I might ask you about some basic question, like what is the frequency range for microwave signal, and what is how the thermistor works, and how we can measure uh, dB power and milliwatt power, and how and the review questions that basically given at the end of this. So there is an answer from on a student work. This is a student work, but you need to find the answer by your own. So that's the end of first lab. Hope to see you in the next lab. Thank you.